It's what?
We're live. I don't know what the hell.
What was that?
Wait a minute.
Welcome to the wonderful world of technology. We're gonna do fine. We're gonna have a podcast. It'll be fun. Won't be any stress at all. What do you think?
Do we even know? Is this being broadcast on YouTube, or do we know?
Oh, we have no idea. Why would we check that out first?
Heaven
Let me
forbid.
see how we're doing.
Banners.
Hang on, I'm checking.
Yeah.
No, it says. Well, we have one that's upcoming.
No, that
And
needs to
we
be
had
deleted.
one that said it ended like 3 minutes ago. So I don't know. It says play next in the queue. It seriously does. I don't think we're on.
All right, let me do this. Let me see. We should be. Oh my gosh. Let me see. YouTube. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, there is no everyone. Nobody's here. I think we are live. That's amazing. It's showing up in the little corner where it says live for 2 minutes and 31 seconds.
New to stream. Oh, I think we're. Oh, holy crap, we're live.
Oh, here's what happened. We don't know what we're doing. So we just do what we can do. And I'm happy with that. Thank you for getting us on. You did that. That was all you, my friend.
That was Ryan, wasn't it?
I don't know. We don't know. Apparently there's some angel out there that goes, look at these two people that can't figure stuff out by themselves. So we'll just help them out.
I honestly have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't know, but everybody, welcome to Road Comic Adventures. And our first adventure is just trying to get on the internet.
Jiminy Christmas. Hi, everyone. We're live. And only 26 minutes late.
We're barely alive. Let's just put it that way. Barely alive. You know what? We did it, Flip. We don't know how, but we got on. This is kind of the story of our life. We don't know how things really happen, but they just do and they work out. And here we are. We're finally on, and I'm happy. Are you happy?
Thrilled beyond belief.
Yeah. I first of all want to say hello to my favorite person that watches our show. Do you know who that is?
I watch every week.
Well, you, of course, are my favorite person. Then you just want to make him the second favorite. There's an evil streak in you. There is.
There might be.
And that is our buddy Mark.
It's
actually your friend, Mark, but I have embraced him as my friend. I hope he doesn't mind because he is my second favorite now, I guess.
Mark, how you doing? Maybe one day you'll be a guest on our show. My understanding is you're planning on working theaters exclusively going forward.
Now, I will tell you, Mark, if you want to work and you want to have Flip as your opening act on the road, I'm his manager, so you'll have to be in touch with me. And there is a price you have to pay for getting the wonderful premiere, Flip Orley, and that's a high price. And he will tell you my commissions are not cheap.
Renee has twisted my arm.
Don't say anything or you'll have every other comic in the country mad at me.
And after a lengthy discussion,
Ixnay.
We came to an agreement on commissions that we could both live with. Right?
We did. And I am more than happy, and I like the bonus structure.
Hey, have you ever felt like you had a beaver in your ear hole?
You know, as much as I'd like to say that we have had similar lives, you're the only one with a beaver in your ear hole. Is your ear giving you a hard time tonight?
At the moment, yeah. So every day when Renee and I talk, I've been having an ear issue since November 2001. No, I'm kidding. Last November. And I went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I think I talked about this already, and he said that I should get an MRI. I'm like, I just want my ear drained. And so I went to another ears, nose, and throat doctor, and he goes, you should probably get like a pap smear. And I said, I just want my ear drained. And so Renee's daughter came up with a whole new ear maintenance program. When you have so much fluid in your ear, but you've got a beaver in the ear hole that's damming up the works. If we had a sponsor, we don't, but if we did, Mucinex. Mucinex. You think it's for chest congestion. It's for ear beaver removal. That's Mucinex.
Well, I'm really upset with you because I was waiting for you to say that there was no sponsor. Because
there was no sponsor up until
I have one. I'm in a new relationship with Ryan Reynolds. It's terrible. We are committed for 2 years now because of Mint Mobile. And so far, I'm very happy, but it's very early on in the relationship. As soon as you said today, I don't have a sponsor, I go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a sponsor for us. And you come up with Mucinex. How brilliant you are. That's why you're my partner, though. You're always on it. You always have something.
Well, I've got an ear beaver, and I don't like it.
I know, and I can't get the picture of that beaver in your ear building a dam out of my head. Thank you. And now maybe if anybody, first of all, I want to question anybody that is following this podcast because they're nuts right along with us. But things are about ready to get interesting because you and I have some plans in the works that we haven't disclosed that are going to show up in the next couple of weeks. And I think people will be interested in that. What do you think?
I hope so. I know I am.
I am.
I was concerned I was going to have to ixnay you. I didn't know where you're going with that.
I'm sorry. Did you think I was going to blurt something out? And I tell you what, let's get this out of the way at the beginning so we don't have to do this crap. And I call it crap because it is crap. Guys, we could really use people to subscribe to the channel. It helps. I promise you, you don't have to watch it. But just subscribe to the channel.
Throw us a bone.
Now, am I doing too big of a sales job for you?
No, I like it. You go Speed Racer.
Okay, just subscribe because it would really help us a lot. And the sooner we get ahead on this channel, the sooner we're not aggravating you guys to watch it. The other thing is, Flip wrote a wonderful newsletter today. And if you will go to fliporley.com, you can sign up. He will send you the copy of the newsletter he wrote today and sent out. I thought it was beautiful. And it tells you what's going on in his career and where he's going. It also gives you all the dates where he's going to be appearing and stuff he's doing with his act and things. Also, you can get his travel schedule there. Also, he's on social media, Flip Orley on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. You know, if it's social media, we've signed up for accounts, not because we wanted to, but because we had to. So there are Flip Orley accounts, and there are also Road Comics Adventures on TikTok, Instagram,
X, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, we're everywhere. So just get that out. Also, if you have any questions you would like to ask us, and God knows why you would ask us anything, I would be so afraid to talk to us.
So, Road Comics Adventures. Renee did comedy for 30 years and then retired. And I think, based on what she told me, really had enough of the road. The road's a lot of fun, but the road's also, it's difficult. You know, it's tiring and challenging and lonely at times, and whatever else it is. But she had enough, and so she swore that she was done. She was retired. She was never going back on the road.
Go
again.
ahead, do the impression that you normally do.
I'm done being on the road. I've retired. I'm getting a goat farm. I want a donkey.
I want miniature donkeys and goats, and I'm getting a farm. I'm going to the farm. There are people that'll tell you. I've told them that for a couple of years.
So Renee and I started talking 20 plus weeks ago. And as we started booking theaters, we were discussing, and I go, you know, theaters are really so much better with production, like lights and sound, and there's no way I can do that because you can't. Comedy clubs certainly not, but even theaters with more dedicated sound and light people, I can't give them a script to my show because I don't follow a script. I sort of make it up as I go, and I'm not going to pretend that I write the material on the spot. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I've got pages and pages and pages and pages of material that I've done in the past and that I'm working on presently. But as the show progresses from one night to the next, I'm sort of picking what bit to do next based on the number of volunteers, how creative they are, how verbal they are, how visual they are. And so I'm making it up as I go. So you really have to know the show inside and out to really be able to do in a timely, professional manner the sound and light cues. And so the next thing I know, Renee's like, damn it, I'm going on the road. So we're going on the road together.
Is that the way you're telling the story?
Did you want to add to it?
No, we'll go with your version.
So we then decided, since we're going to be on the road anyway, something that she never did on her own, and I had never done on my own, was to enjoy the road. So, like, typically what we do, and comics, generally speaking, are not great at routing their gigs. In other words, you're bouncing all over the place and you're constantly in your car. And you're always tired. Some of the comics are just barely getting where they're going on time, if on time at all.
You know, in my memory, literally on a couple of the comedy runs we went on, you would come home from the show, go to bed, and anybody in the entertainment business will back us up. But when you come back to the hotel room from doing a show, you can't go right to sleep.
Yeah,
You have adrenaline. I don't care how long. There's adrenaline. Takes you a long time to sleep. You're in a strange room. All of that. But you will have to get up the next day at 4:00 in the morning and get on the road and literally drive and come into the club barely able time to take a shower and get dressed to go do another show because you have driven 12, 14 hours to get there. Yeah. Bookers did not care about routing. And you just wind up really exhausted and barely functioning.
I don't know about you, but for years people have always said to me, "Oh my God, the road must be so glamorous, and you've seen and done so many things." And
yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen the back of semis.
Right.
That's what I've seen, because that's all we did was drive.
So in the day, I've performed in 48 states, and I've been to 49. I've never been to North Dakota, long story. Never performed in Oregon. Now, true or not true, I don't know. But what I was always told going back into my early 20s is that, and again, I'm not telling you it's true. I'm saying this is what I was told, and it may be true. It may not be true. It may have been true and is no longer. It may have been true in the past and still true in the present. I don't know. But what I was told in Oregon was that stage hypnosis was illegal. Did you know that or no?
No, I had never heard that.
Well, I've been told that many times. So I never looked for jobs. I never looked for jobs in Oregon because I was told it was illegal. I've been to and through Oregon, but I've never worked there. So I've been to 48 states, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, I've been to 49 states, working 48," and they're like, "Oh my God, you must have seen everything." And mostly, I've seen the inside of comedy clubs and theaters, the inside of airplanes and hotels, and the inside of a car. So for Road Comics Adventures, when Renee said, "Oh my God, I'm going to do your lights and sound. I'm going back on the road," that was my impression of you.
Yeah, I like how the stories evolved too.
We decided that we were going to enjoy the road more than we ever had before. We're routing shows in a much more succinct, sensible way, and we're taking a little bit more time in between dates so that we can sightsee and we can go places and do things and take pictures and make videos. And so we're road comics, we're on the road, and we're going to have adventures. It's not just about these wonderful shows that I can't wait to do in these amazing theaters that have been very receptive, but it's also the journey. It's also taken, like, when I drive, and I spent the first 10 years of my career driving, and I've spent since 2020 driving again. In between those 10 years and 2020, I'd mostly fly, if not exclusively fly. But I was on the road in the car anywhere from 10 to 16 hours at a time. And I would stop for gas, food, and the bathroom. That was it.
I told you, I traveled a lot. The most I ever traveled with any one person was 6 or 8 years, and it was another female comic. We had it down to where we would go, okay, we're getting ready to pull into the gas station, and we had it timed at 2 minutes. She would fill up for gas. I would run in, go to the bathroom, fill up 2 coffee cups, come back out. She would go in, she would go to the bathroom, and she would pick out whatever snacks we were having. And in 2 minutes, we could be into a gas station and pulling out exactly 2 minutes later. That's how crazy the timing is on some of this stuff,
Right. So I've seen the whole country, but I've never seen the country. I've been everywhere, but I haven't done much. So
I haven't either. So
yeah,
and it's more fun if you're doing it with a friend.
Yeah, so we're going to make it actually an adventure, and we're, like I said, if we're driving through some place that has like that big, the biggest ball of twine, right? And I don't know if we're going to stop for the twine, but something like, oh, we are planning a trip.
No. Wait a second. First of all, if you thought that the biggest ball of twine might be something that we might be interested in, you and I are going to be replanning our trip together before we leave. And also,
yeah,
I have an answer to your question. You know why?
Oregon.
On Oregon, because I have an attorney friend. So what do? In Oregon, there are no current specific laws or regulations that limit or restrict the practice of stage hypnosis. You're not required a license. There's no known legal cases, and it distinguishes from the medical practice because hypnotherapy is different. There were attempts in 2017 that might have restricted hypnotherapists to work in the state, but those failed. So no. And we are not going to ask him any more questions because he just he just rambles. One of us has tried so hard, and I made it through 6.5 shows. And on show 7, what happens?
The blurter. Wait, so there was a club before the Improv had opened up in Phoenix. It was after Chuckles, but before the Improv, I think. And it was, I think, The Last Laugh.
The Last Laugh, yeah. I know there was a Last Laugh in Houston.
It was either The Last Laugh or The Laugh Stop. It was Bob's Chuckle Hut.
Yeah, nobody cares.
The
just
corporate headquarters,
piece of crap comedy club, The
corporate headquarters and the mothership club was in Portland, Oregon, and then they opened up a satellite club in Phoenix, in sort of the northern, very slightly western part of the town, near, at the time, a mall that was a very big and beloved mall in Phoenix called Metro Center. So they told me that, what, am I veering? I do ramble. So they told me that
I was going to say to you what I say to other comics or my children or something, and I started to say it, and then I realized, first of all, this isn't a private conversation.
What?
Second of all, I would probably never say it to you. And third of all, just shut your pie hole.
You were going to say this to me?
No, I was saying to me, just keep your mouth shut.
Shut your pie hole was one of the last things I said before getting married one of the times.
Yeah, Steve, not a good idea. I'm just going to be quiet and continue to listen to this.
But what I was told was they had a stage hypnotist in Portland when it was supposedly against the law, and that a sheriff or the police came in and shut the show down. What the hell's going on over there?
Nothing. See, this is what follows, and just to make it clear, I was hypnotized earlier today because I had to have some dental stuff done, and I was out for a while, and I'm not totally awake, and I'm a little punchy, and this is what happens. And I'm also going to confess that he does this to me about 2 or 3 times a day, where he's got you're laughing over something, and I can't stop, and I'm crying.
Oh, how's the ducks?
The ducks are fine. Quack, quack. You know what? You know what? The universe knew what it was doing when it wasn't letting us log on live tonight because you're just a problem.
So, but I was told
In my defense,
in my defense, I was
I was
told.
going to text you what I was going to say to you, but it's something I would say to you in private that I would never say to you in front of the
Well,
people.
texts are private, not this
Uh-huh.
last one.
The-
Oh my God.
Ixnay. I'm trying not to be a blurter and you're messing it up. I'm trying not to tell any of the stuff that, that we want. I talked to clients right before this and I sounded like a totally normal person. If you have turned me into kind of a nutbag in front of both people that are watching this.
Exactly no one. Actually, as it turns out, this is a private conversation.
Yes, but it won't be because we learned that last week.
Oh yeah. Good point. So anyway, I was told that the police came in and shut down the show.
We can't get you off this stuff.
So anywho, I've never worked in Oregon, and maybe I was misinformed, and I could have all along, but I didn't. We're gonna have a long talk, you and I.
Why is that?
Because I'm nosy.
It's nothing. It's something I'm trying really hard to not.
So, have you ever had a really, really, really unusual encounter with someone after a show?
Have you met me? I am like a nut magnet.
Like an audience member after the show?
Well, else do you think I was meeting after the show?
Okay. So one day I'm doing a show.
I'm sorry. You are the most brilliant stage entertainer I've ever seen. You go from one bit to another one smooth as silk, called the segue. You want to use some of that here, perhaps, because that segue sucks.
Wait, are we supposed to segue?
Well, my friend Mark, and after watching this, he's probably only my friend now. Oh, although I did give him up the last time over the whole.
Ixnay. Yeah.
But yeah, just go ahead and tell them your story about. Now wait a minute before I say tell them your story. Oh, all of a sudden I remembered. Wait a second, I remembered who I was talking to. What rating are we going to do this show?
It depends. Is the rating the way I tell it or what happened?
Oh, please just, do you know how bad I want to do national commercials and some point and like maybe have a network TV show or something? Just maybe, but I have visions of them turning on. You do whatever you want, babe.
So like I'm 24, 25 years old at the time, right?
This isn't the New Orleans story, is it?
Oh no. That was 2019.
Okay. I just thought I'd check because if that was the story, I'm going to go get more coffee and
Coffee?
a sedative.
So I'm like 24, 25 years old. I do a show, and a woman comes up to me after the show. Now, real quick, there's this movie, and I know you're not a big movie viewer.
No.
You may have heard of this one. Have you ever heard of a movie called Pretty Woman?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this gal who came up to me had some stuff like that was relatable to Pretty Woman and some stuff that wasn't. Are you bracing or researching?
No, I'm listening.
Are you doing business?
Yes.
Are you really?
Yes. Yes. I'm trying. I got a text message from one
Yeah.
of the people that's interested in booking you. So apparently they're not watching this. And he's asking for our avail dates, and I don't want to keep him waiting.
Oh, no. You should answer.
So stop talking to me. Because I can't do this and talk to you. No, I don't like to make our clients wait. And
No,
when they,
and I love that about you. So what this gal had in common with Pretty Woman was she had a similar profession,
okay.
the profession of Julia Roberts, when Richard Gere first met her.
I'm impressed with you.
What she did not have in common with Julia Roberts was she was not a pretty woman.
Oh, okay. Oh,
She was at least double and maybe triple the age,
okay.
had a bouffant hairdo, and not in. Have you ever heard of the Mayflower Madam?
Yes, I have.
Probably not one of her entertainers.
So she
Have
was
you
nothing like Julia Roberts.
have you heard of the TV show and the movie Starsky and Hutch?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she would be more like Huggy Bear's entertainer in his stable. Anywho, so this gal comes up to me after the show. Now you know kind of who she is and what she does. And she goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I go, "Sure." But at the time, I didn't know anything about her other than she's a gal who came to see my show, and she came up to me after the show. That's all I know. I'm 24, 25 years old. She goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "In private." And I go, "Well, I mean, talk. There's nobody around us." She goes, "Well, my profession, I like to make men happy." And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "And I've always enjoyed my job, and I've always made decent money at it." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "However, recently I'm finding that I'm losing some of my job satisfaction. And I don't know if you're following what's going on here, but sort of I'm in the people business. And I, me demonstrating job satisfaction is a really important part of my job description." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Would you be able to hypnotize me to reinvigorate my passion for my job?" And I'm like 24, 25 years old. So what did I say?
Sure.
I believe that's possible. She goes, "What?" I go, "I gotta be honest. I've never attempted this particular subject matter, but job satisfaction is sort of an emotional aspect of, how you feel, right? It's emotional, it's how you feel. So yeah, I go, well, hypnosis works with your mind, and your mind is part of your emotional makeup. And so, kind of theorizing it out, hypnosis may very well be, and I'm trying not to use any word that could be sort of double entendre-y, right? So I didn't say hypnosis was a good tool. I thought that was like in bad taste, right? So like hypnosis could be a really good way to invigorate or reinvigorate your enthusiasm for your job. And she goes, would you be willing to work with me? Well, now I'm fully intrigued. So, and again, and I've explained this on stage many times, if I were an accountant, a plumber, a roofer, an attorney, a judge, a doctor, I'd probably say no to a lot of stuff. But as a comic, I say yes to almost everything because in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, there could be a story involved.
You don't mind if I go on the road with you? Would be one of the host things you go, yeah.
So she goes, what would you charge? And I go, well, I don't know. This is sort of uncharted territory for me. So I go, it'll probably take like an hour, hour and a half. I charge you $100. And then she goes, how about a trade out? I go, I beg your pardon. She goes, would you consider a barter? I'm like, I would not. She's like, really? I go, yeah, no, I'm not going to barter. Like I would need cash. So she agreed to it. And we found a quiet place. Her clothes were on, my clothes were on. She was seated in a chair. I was seated in a different chair, and I'm talking to her. Turns out pretty hypnotizable. Well, I don't know what to say. Like, I've never read this particular chapter in a hypnosis book. So I'm winging it.
There's good news.
And she gets hypnotized, and she actually is pretty deeply hypnotized. And I'm talking about enthusiasm. I'm talking about happiness. I'm talking about making other people happy. When they're happy, you're happy. When you're happy, they're happier. There's happy to go around. You're a giver. And I talked to her for like an hour. And when I say I'm making it up as I go, I am making it up as I go. And I'm trying to talk.
And I do know how meticulous you are when you are doing these suggestions, usually.
I'm trying to be meticulous but professional. I'm trying to keep it out of the gutter, but still make it make sense. Since I took the job, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of amused. It's like, this is really an odd moment. But the woman was sincere, and she seemed like it was really a challenge for her. And I thought, well, if I can help, I'm going to try to help.
You're a giver.
I can be. So I talked with her hour and a half, and I go, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I reach her eyes open, happy, invigorated, a new sense of purpose, enthusiastic. Whatever it is that you had in your past that made you enthusiastic, you can rediscover within yourself. When I reach 3, eyes come open wide awake. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, eyes open. She's like, how much was that going to be? And I go, it's $100. She goes, barter? And I go, no, $100. And she gave me $100. And she goes, want one on the house? No, I don't. Thank you, but no thank you. And with that, I was a little like, I go, look, Elvis. And she turned, and I beat it the hell out of the room. And so anywho, I feel like by helping her, I helped others. I'm spreading joy like little Johnny Appleseed everywhere I go.
Uh, well, see, it's funny that you say Johnny Appleseed because remember I told you that one comic? He said, "Oh, Renee Bray, I've been looking to meet you. You're like the Johnny Appleseed of comedy." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "I've been on tour behind you by 2 or 3 weeks." And he said, "Every club I get to, when I get there, they go, 'Oh, you should have been here a couple of weeks ago when Renee Bray was here.'" And then they tell the story about what happened. And there's was always a story about what happened that week. Because I'm one of those people that seems to create something.
Chaos, havoc, stuff like that.
Call it what you will. I guess you'll see, won't you? But
Julia Roberts.
that story that you just told is not why I'm going to be following you with a camera, filming everything that happens.
Can you imagine a more tastefully told story about an untoward subject?
I'm very proud of you, first of all, because, well, that's not usually the norm. And I really am proud of you.
I'm not going to lie. She dropped my jaw. I was quite taken aback.
I remember you telling me that story probably in like week 2.
Chuck Woolery.
No, and when after you got into it, I remembered it, but that's the weirdest stuff. See, I just have stories like she was drinking and she got a guy on stage and did this, or she was drinking and did this after the show. I tried not to run into any hookers.
Well, see, I didn't say hooker. I said she shared a similar job description as did Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman at the beginning of the movie.
Uh-huh.
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 See, as a comic.
By the way, we just added another player to the Nebraska trip.
With a date or in the key?
We're going to go over this one more time today because apparently you hypnotized yourself and didn't hear it the first time.
In the queue.
No, we're not in a queue. We're waiting for the one person to get their date because I promised them I would give them their date.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then I've told the other ones we'll put them in around it.
Right.
And I'm just fussing at you to fuss at you because you've been making me laugh all day, and please don't make me laugh anymore, please.
So as a comic,
it hurts from laughing so much. It really does.
I'm sorry for hurting you, and laughter is the best medicine. So I'm healing and hurting hand in glove. So, and I'm sure you have had this experience as comics. It's not uncommon for someone to come up and tell you something and then hit you and go, "You can use that. You can use that."
You know what? I got a great joke you can tell it for your little comedy skit thing. Have you ever had them call it your little comedy skit thing?
A kabillion times. A kabillion
and you just times. Go, oh,
that's not insulting at all.
Thank goodness they don't push on me where they pushed on you. I wouldn't appreciate that very much.
I've been hit stuff like, "Hey, you can use this one." So, but this one, I was doing shows in Detroit, and a couple like bruisers, just big, bruiser types come up to me, and kind of intimidating, but they had a smile, so I wasn't scared, but like I could see where they would be scary folk if and when they wanted to be. So this big guy, big, and I don't mean fat, like just like had worked his whole life, right, with his hands, and he's, I got a joke for you, and I'm like, oh, okay, and he goes, you can use it in your show if you want, and I go, all right, let's hear it, and he like got up on me, right, and he goes, how many union workers does it take to put in a light bulb? By the way, have you heard this one?
No.
And it turns out I found out later this guy was a union boss, which I thought was hysterical. How many union guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? And I go, I don't know how many. And then he actually hit chest to chest, hit me, and he goes, 7. You got a problem with that? I'm like, holy shit. No, actually, the way he told it, like if I told it, it wouldn't be funny.
But the way he,
if Tony Soprano, do you know who that is?
I do know who it is. Yeah.
If Tony Soprano did that joke to you the way this guy did it to me, you'd go, holy crap, that's funny.
Yeah. See, I got to get rid of some of that, but because at a certain point in my career, I go, I cannot listen to another joke. So I would go, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I got other things to do. You know, the show's almost over. So I'm going to ask a couple of things out of you. And that is, A, if you want to tell me a joke, don't. I just don't do it because I can't. I just can't anymore. And normally, and by this point in the show, I've been drinking a little bit and I don't want to hear it. And I said, the other thing, don't come up to me and go, hey, do you know any good jokes? I have just been here for an hour and a half. Those were the jokes you're going to get. And I'm not telling you.
If you didn't hear somebody
I would rather go home and sleep in the barn with your goats and your donkey the whole night than to listen to one joke after this. That's so, and people got where they go, I think she's serious. And she does not want us to tell her any jokes.
So as bad as that is as a comic, the double whammy is when you're also a hypnotist. Because, and I'm making up the ratio, I don't know what the ratio really is, but like half the people want to tell me a joke, hit me, and tell me I can use it.
And the other half want you to hypnotize them.
And they're like strangers, people I don't know, never met, will probably never see again. I've had adult people come up and go, hey, you're like, hypnosis is real. I'm like, yeah. And they go, can I talk with you for a moment? I'm like, sure. Would hypnosis work with bedwetting? And I go, like, for your kid, like, how old's your kid? They go, no, from me.
Well, you know, that sounds pretty funny, except not so funny who's drinking 8 glasses of water every evening to make the Mucinex work on their.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm trying to flush the ear fever.
I'm sorry. Should I have ixnayed? Am I a blurter again? What? No, but I mean, you know, it's funny because, you know, this is one of the things about getting older that isn't funny. I'm using.
It's not an age thing.
It's.
If I were 21 years old, I had an ear beaver, and I'm drinking like 6 to 8 cups of water before going to bed.
You're sick. Well, here. I am using the hypnosis to go to sleep at night, and I'm trying to sleep a whole night, and then I wake up in the middle of the night and go, "Wow, I think I'm still hypnotized. Oh, I better go to the bathroom." So I don't know. I may be having to use some of that bedwetting stuff at some point too. I don't know.
But at least we're friends when we talk. I'm talking about strangers coming up. It's like, I'll pee the bed. It's like, I didn't need to know.
Please don't tell
Hey,
me.
you want to hear a weird dream that I had? This is a normal. This is a good.
Oh dear God.
This is a good segue, and it's not only a good segue, but it leads into a question that I have that maybe you could ask your attorney from.
He's in his
So,
office. He answered Oregon, didn't he? Now
so
I happen to know for a fact a law clerk answered that, but
well, no, this is not a law question actually. It's more of a medical question. Oh, you could ask your daughter.
no names, please.
Did I name names?
No, no. I was just saying. I wanted to make sure you.
Who's
I'm
the
alerted.
blurter?
No, no, no. You've been good about it. I just wanted to stop it before.
Who's the blurter? So here was my dream, and then here's my question. In my dream, you and I are on the road, right?
Well, that is kind of a dream now because after this show, I'm starting to question our sanity.
So you and I are on the road, and we've got with us Storm, the Road Comic Adventures dog,
Okay.
and we get a little bit mischievous.
We.
Yeah, actually, we.
Okay.
And the dog's sleeping, right? So we get a bowl of warm water, and while she's sleeping, we grab her leg and we dip her paw in the warm water to see if it'll make her pee, like it did when you're like that.
In the
So,
sleepovers with kids, yeah.
yeah. So here's what I'd like you to ask your daughter: if we were to stick Storm's paw in a bowl of warm water, would that make her pee?
Well, as somebody whose children think they're very old already and have already threatened to put me in a home, if you think I'm texting that to one of my kids, you are out of your mind. What makes you dream stuff like
I
that?
don't know, but I was in my dream. We were both like kids, giggling, like and just like
You mean
gently.
like I was a while ago?
Beg your pardon?
Like giggling like I was a while ago?
Yeah.
Do you know how hard I try not to laugh? I mean, seriously, Flip, sometimes you just twist me up like that, and then it starts. And if you just stop for a couple of seconds, but you never do, you start adding on, and then I laugh harder and harder and harder. And I don't think in 20 weeks and 2 days, I don't think that there's been one day where I haven't at least laughed hard enough to cry. At least once during the day.
Well,
But
I'm concerned about your eye health. I want to exercise.
it's coming over the plate, but I think I'm going to step back.
You gonna check swing?
No, I'm stepping out of the box. I'm done.
I'm walking away from that one too.
What?
I said I'm walking away from that one too.
Yeah.
Stepping out of the box. So no, we were giggling, just seeing if we could make the dog pee but we didn't want to laugh hard because we didn't want to wake her up. But we were like just in like a bowl of warm water, just waiting.
I can hardly wait till you leave for Phoenix, and it's just her and I. and I can go, let me see if I can deprogram you and pretend like I'm normal, okay? For a little while. No, I kid you about the road, but I'm really looking forward to it.
It's going to be an adventure. It'll be fun. We don't have to see the ball of twine, but we don't have a sponsor. But if we did, you know where we may stop when we're going through, I think, Tennessee? Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds. How about Mint Mobile?
Oh, actually, no. You want to see who's on the phone?
Oh my goodness! But you know what? I was thinking.
I had forgotten you hadn't seen that.
I had not seen that. You know who would be a good sponsor?
The skillet people.
Lodge Cast Iron Skillets.
I would be into going there.
I love cast iron to cook in. Love cast iron
Well, I didn't know what else.
to cook in.
You say that like you had to qualify it. And granted, after a couple of the stories on a couple of the podcasts, it is getting to where the lines kind of blur.
Little blurry. Little blurry.
Oh my, is it close to?
We're at 56 minutes.
Um,
So there's a huge, I think it's the factory.
where is it? Do you know what
I think in
city?
Tennessee.
But you don't know what city.
It's in Tennessee.
And there are several cities in Tennessee. Come with me and enjoy that map you sent me.
I'm going to Lodge. Hang on. Because you've been, but you're doing business now. Lodge Cast Iron Factory. Oops. I spelled it like Mark. I spelled it Factory. Factory, Tennessee. All right, let's see. I'll tell you where it is. Lodge Cast Iron Factory store is located historic Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Oh, Lynchburg's great. I think there's a liquor distillery there too. Because I think I'm going to start drinking. It kind of looks like I'm going to need to.
Well, hocus smokes. South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Lynchburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Sevierville, Tennessee.
Sevierville. Sevierville, just outside of Knoxville. When you're talking about 75 up and down.
Oh, then that must be the one because I see it near Knoxville.
Okay, that's it then.
And Athens, Alabama. Make plans to visit the Lodge Museum at our flagship store. Ooh, road trip.
Well, see, when you said Athens, Alabama, I can tell you right now that that's an outlet mall. I bet. In Athens, because I know there's an outlet mall. You know how you know when somebody has been a stand-up comic for 30 years? Because you can go Athens, Alabama, and they go outlet mall. Yeah.
Lodge Cast Iron.
While you're looking at that, look up what liquor they make in Lynchburg, Tennessee, or Lynchville.
I'll do it. Liquor manufacturers?
I guess.
In Lynchburg.
Oh, God.
Oh, I just spelled it Lynchburg.
What liquor is made in Lynchburg, Tennessee?
Oh my God, I don't talk to my phone.
Jack Daniels.
Yes.
So I'll be drinking Jack Daniels and wanting to fight people. It'll be perfect. Because I told you.
Oh my God. We go to Lodge and get a cast iron skillet. Then you drink some Jack Daniels. Then you have a weapon.
And the only person I'm with is you.
I'm sure
to see a play. And we'll have multiple cameras and tripods with us. I'll film it for the news at 11.
Oh, I see you starring in one of our shows.
Holy moly.
Ixnay. Ixnay. Yeah. Oh my God. That's brilliant. Lodge, then Jack Daniels, then
Yeah, because I can drink tequila all night long, and I just want to party and have a good time. But as soon as the dark liquor gets involved, then I get perturbed. Perturbed.
that's a good word. You know what makes me perturbed?
I know several things, yeah, but
Peppermint schnapps.
really,
Yeah.
why is
I
that?
have I don't know. I haven't had it since my early 20s, but it's a liquor that every time I had it, suddenly I would find myself in a foul mood. And I don't mean a foul mood, I mean like a really
Yeah.
whoops-a-daisy foul mood. Yeah.
Um, I've drank a little bit of Goldschlager in my time too. Have you ever had any Goldschlager?
I have.
Um, quite honestly, I can't tell you what it did to me because I don't remember a lot of what happened after I started drinking it. Let's just say there are stories to be told at the Laughing Comedy Cafe in Fort Myers.
Oh,
I'm just
wow.
saying. They'll go, wow, you were wild. And I know you're saying, oh no, Renee, not you. But I believe it's true. And I believe Winner's Circle probably has a couple stories too.
From what little I know, I believe that's probably true.
Yes, but the stories they tell about me are not half as good as the ones you tell. I mean, I feel really bad that I can't keep up with you.
And the funny part is, I really do a lot of editing.
Oh, I know. And I just want to tell you, I owe you for tonight, big time. I really do, and I'm well aware of that. And I can't wait to get off of here because I'm dying to tell you the thing that made me laugh so hard that I didn't say because I think you're gonna laugh. You're either gonna laugh or you're gonna be mad. I can't decide which, but because I know you pretty well, I think you're gonna laugh too.
That'd be my guess. We are at hour 3 minutes. So,
Yeah,
lots of things are happening. Really, truly. Um,
actually, this week has been an amazing week um, for people that want you. Our biggest issue was we didn't know anything about theaters when we got into them. Go figure. Who knew? But we are coming at the tail end of one season of booking. So
for the ear beaver in you.
we are getting into we're getting a head start on the next season, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
Because we've got some big, beautiful, beautiful theaters that are coming on. And not only that, but in my infinite wisdom, because you put me in charge of your career because you thought that was a good idea.
Still do.
Okay.
Still
Well, tell everybody where we're headed in January.
do. Believe it or not, and it's only a weather comment because it's a beautiful area, and I've been there many times and love it. But
And the
again,
nicest people in the world.
100%. But January, it's gonna be chilly.
So
So
let's see. I'm from Florida, and
I
you're
live
from
in Louisiana by way of Phoenix, Arizona, also deserty. But we are booking. Well, Renee's booking for us a tour that will be spending some time in Nebraska.
Well, right now it looks like we're going to be spending if everything goes down the way it's supposed to, we'll be spending 5 days in Nebraska. Plus, at the end of those 5 days, we're going to take 2 days off to go to do an
Nebraska.
interview with somebody.
We're going to take 2 days off to go to Nebraska.
No, to go to someplace in Nebraska extra to do an interview.
And we're also looking at, I think, some winter dates in Montana, South and North Dakota.
Yeah, you're finally going to make it to North Dakota.
I swore I'd never go, but for you and for those theaters out there, happy to do it. And again, North Dakota, I have nothing. It is not a North Dakota thing. I always thought it'd be really, 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 really funny to stop at 49 states and whatever the 50th one was, just never to go there because I just thought it was silly. And I didn't pick North Dakota. It's just by happenstance of every place I traveled, North Dakota was the last place of all the states that I would have gone to. So I just decided, well, by happenstance, that's the one I'll never go to. And Renee and I were talking. She's like, look, I'm booking dates. And I'm like, well, book them. She goes, there could be some in North Dakota. I'm like, well, it was a funny joke, but I'd rather work. And North Dakota is amazing. And let's make it happen.
And let's face it, I give you a hard time, but any place I ask you to go, you've been more than willing to go. And you said yes to a lot of things. And I know you said yes to them, not because you were so excited about the theater or the gig or the date, but you did it because you knew I really wanted you to go. And I appreciate you being a wonderful talent like that and being easy to work with.
I will say this, except for khaki pants, dancing,
and
karaoke, what?
And duct tape on your head.
And duct tape on my head, except for those types of things, yes is always more fun. Yes is more fun than no.
Yeah, you're really easy to work with, and I appreciate it. I really do.
Well, right back at you. I will tell all of you this. Khaki pants, try to get me in khaki pants, then there's some fighting words. Fighting words. You want to wear khaki? More power to you. I don't judge.
What you're saying is you don't want to wear khaki pants.
By the way, I said I don't judge. That's a fib. I judge everything, everywhere, all the time. Not because it matters. It just makes me laugh. But I don't do khaki.
Okay. And everybody or anybody at this point, if anybody's still here, please subscribe. It really does help us a lot. Please keep an eye on us. Believe it or not, we're not far from having a couple of things that I think will surprise a lot of people, including the fact that Flip's only got one more road trip. It involves 2 clubs. Please go to his Facebook page or any of the other social media or flipworley.com. And please check out his road schedule. And then after that, he's got I call us his 2 bitches, 1 German Shepherd and 1 Pit Bull going with him. Are you ixnaying me?
Well, you can use that. I never said that.
I think I heard you.
No, I said my 2 ladies.
You did say that, but I always say it the other way because I think it makes you sound more butch.
Oh, I'm pretty badass. We are even not anytime soon, and there's no hurry. But we are also talking about merchandise. Ooh, we're talking about stuff. So, lots of theaters, a lot of new cities and states, places I haven't been in a very long time. Some places I've never been to. Beautiful theaters.
A lot of places I've never been and had fun. The difference is we are going to show you guys some of the country that we hope maybe if you don't ever get out to travel there, we can show some beautiful places. because first of all, our first road trip, we are going to the Arts Theater in Hobart, Indiana. That's a beautiful area there.
Yeah.
Followed up by
The park,
the Park
Holland,
Theater in Holland, Michigan. And Holland, Michigan is everything you would expect Holland, Michigan to be. And we're going to be there for an extra day just so we can film all of that because I want to get you with the tulips.
Looking forward to it.
And then we go to a place we're really looking forward to, and that's the Apollo Civic Center in Martinsville, West Virginia. And that's because that was one of the first rooms that I booked. And Aubrey, who was the director at that theater, is one of the sweetest people we ever met. So if you know anybody near Martinsville, West Virginia, we'll be there on September 20th. And we have a couple of more dates to follow to add on. And we'll do that shortly.
But meanwhile, the last road trip that I plan on taking by myself is January 30 and 31 in Phoenix, Arizona at the Desert Ridge Improv.
When?
What did I say? December? What I meant was July. July 30, 31. July, this
See
month.
my face?
Thank
You're
you for
going
that.
someplace in January without us?
No, July 30, 31 in Phoenix Desert Ridge Improv, and August 1, 2, and 3 in Tempe, Arizona at the Tempe Improv. Going to be a lot of fun. I love those clubs. And in fact, I've been working the Tempe Improv since 1991. So a very, very long time. It's my hometown. I was born and raised in Phoenix. I'm always excited to go back there. I've got a ton of friends. By the way, it hadn't been confirmed, but I'm really, really, really crossing my fingers that while there, I get a chance to visit with my very dear friends at 98 Rock KUPD, The Morning Sickness with John Holmberg and Brady, and really looking forward to that.
All right. So, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us because God knows we moved a mountain to even get on tonight.
20 minutes, 25 minutes late, but it would not, the streaming service would not let us load it. It wouldn't let us log on. It was aggravating is what it was.
Yes, because Mercury's going into retrograde. We're in the shadow. And if you want to know about that, you can send me an email and I'll explain it to you at effing, F-I-N-G, adorable. And you may not think so tonight, but we are.
You know what happens the week before Mercury goes into retrograde?
The shadow.
No, aluminum goes into retreat. Very few people know that. Oh my God, I wish you could see your face. That was one of the absolute most priceless what the F looks I've ever seen on anyone ever.
Well, let's face it, you don't get to see me a lot in person. I think I probably have a lot of those on the phone you just don't know about. But I got news for you. You'll probably see them in the car.
I literally saw you kind of go.
Effin adorable at proton.me is our email address. And please get us off of here. We got to get off. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next week, maybe.
We hope so.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Bye.
And we are